Okay, so we are into November. We got the October stats from the Real Estate Board of Vancouver, and I'm going to go over things very quickly. So basically, first off, we've obviously got the BC land claims thing, which is making headlines everywhere. Essentially, what's happening is the Indigenous people who fished on that land years ago have decided they want to actually take that land back and have claim to that land. And it's creating all sorts of controversy because the people who have lived on that land in the past little while and bought it fee simple outright, now that title to that land is being questioned, and you don't know what you're going to own or what you own, and how are you going to sell it if someone doesn't know what they're purchasing, and how's the bank going to lend on it. It's creating all sorts of, it's really creating waves in the real estate industry. So a lot of eyes on that story right now. These things can take years to figure themselves out, and we're starting to see it's actually starting to pop up in other places too, like Kamloops and Sun Peaks Resort. And so I think this could potentially just be the tip of the iceberg, as about 90% of BC's unceded territory. We'll definitely keep our eyes on this as we move forward. Moving on to the stats now. So we're obviously 6 months in a row of prices decreasing in Greater Vancouver, which is pretty significant. Now we're 5.5% from that first decrease. It's 5.5% of a decrease in price since about March of this year. And I think probably will continue to slide down as we move forward here. Nothing really suggests that we should be getting an increase in price, especially as we move into the slower months, November, December. Things typically slow down. Inventory can stack up, but it's funny because every year you see, inventory actually goes down in December because people go, screw this, I'm not leaving my house on the market over Christmas. I don't want to do showings and whatnot. We'll try again in the spring. The spring is always better. But realistically, if you look at the trend of prices, there's nothing to suggest that the spring is actually going to bring better prices. It might have more activity. It typically does. But I think that the same thing that happened last year basically is that there's going to be an influx of listings hitting the market in the early spring, because there's so many people out there that think that if they list their home in the spring, that it's going to basically do better. But what happens is you get so many of those people that it clogs up the system, and you just get too many listings again, and it actually drives prices down. So I don't have a crystal ball, but that's kind of my hypothesis. The other thing that I wanted to touch on was, so sales are low, 14.5% below the 10-year average. If you've been paying attention at all, we're definitely in a buyer's market. There's definitely some deals out there. Obviously depends on every seller's situation. Every house is different, but typically you can go in, get a pretty good price, favorable terms, get 7 to 10 days to do all your due diligence, and that my job is getting you the best price and the best terms possible. So if you're looking to buy, definitely reach out, happy to help you. But right now, buyers definitely have a lot of the leverage, and sellers are coming back down to earth in terms of, hey, we got this offer, we haven't received anything, we haven't even received an offer in 3 months. So when you get something, you work with it, right? You're not going to just let it slip away because it's a low ball. You go, okay, well, let's at least counter this thing and see where it goes. And a lot of the time, the buyers end up walking away with a pretty good price, and the sellers they're happy because they were able to sell their home in this market. But in the last little bit, notice an uptick in buyers actually stepping up to the plate and writing offers and actually getting into contract, which is interesting because I felt like for so long there was just, you're doing showings and showings and showings and showings, and it took so long to get anyone to actually write an offer. But we're finally starting to see some buyers step up to the plate and sellers reach agreements and getting those properties under contract. That's pretty much it. If you're looking to buy or sell in Vancouver or the area, let us know. We're happy to help you. Thanks.